Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, we are going to continue the rules of Nikah. Okay, the last time we were here, we touched upon the topic of engagement. Is there such a thing as engagement in Islam? Should I give out portfolios, or have you allocated portfolios? Someone to take notes, someone to bring Quranic Hujjah, Hadith Hujjah. Have you done it? Okay, shukran. Okay, the next topic is the topic of engagement. According to Islamic law, whenever you propose to a girl and the girl says yes to the proposal, the girl is officially engaged. Therefore, it is haram for another man to propose to the girl because she is engaged. So, if you are talking to a sister and the sister says, I am engaged, then you know that is a no-go area. You are not supposed to propose to the girl because she told you, I am engaged. That is the engagement in Islam when a girl accepts a proposal. If the girl did not accept the proposal of anyone, she is not engaged. And it is haram for a brother to propose on top of a proposal. It is haram for a Muslim brother to propose on top of a proposal. Shukran found in the Muwatta of Imam Malik. Now, this law that it is haram to propose on top of a proposal, it's applicable to real Muslims. If the person who proposed to the girl is known to you and the person is a munafiq, you are allowed to propose to the same girl. I repeat, this law of the Prophet ﷺ, where the Prophet said, don't propose to a girl who is already engaged. This law is applicable only to real Muslims. If the person who proposed to the girl is a munafiq, a hypocrite, a fake Muslim, and somebody proposed to her, the brother didn't do anything wrong. Because this ruling, it applies only to real Muslims, not to the fake Muslims. Because a munafiq has no right over a Muslim girl. Also, yesterday I told you, if a girl turns down a proposal, you're not supposed to press her to ask her, why did you turn me down? When a girl says no, she doesn't have to give a reason why she turns down the proposal of a brother. And you're not allowed to press the sister to get an answer. Why did you turn me down? Am I too dark? Am I too short? Is my nose too big? Could it be I'm too poor? Is it because I do not belong to your race, your tribe, your nationality? To press the sister to find out why she turned you down, it is not Islamic, because the ayah says, O you who believe, do not ask questions. When the answer is given to you, it causes you trouble, it causes you pain, it causes you sorrows. Surah 5:101. The ayah I've just quoted to you is found in Surah 5:101. Also, it is permissible for a girl to propose to a brother. So, the same way it is your right to propose to a girl also has the right to propose to a Muslim brother. And even if the brother is married, she can still propose to him, because if you have one wife, you are still single 3 times. Anybody with one wife, he's still single 3 times. The only time you are not single is when you have 4 wives. If you have 4 wives, then you are not single. But if you have 1 wife, you are still single 3 times. So if a sister proposed to a married brother, she did not do anything wrong. It is her right to propose to a married brother if that's what she likes. Some sisters, they don't want monogamy, they want polygamy. Why? Because some sisters, they don't like to have a man around all the time. They want their own space. They just want a man who will be with them twice a week or 3 times a week. Some sisters, they like monogamy, especially the Asian sisters, the Pakistani sisters. They like monogamy. You can be with a Pakistani woman 24 hours a day and she doesn't get tired of seeing you, and she doesn't ask for any space. That is their culture, the Asian culture. They won't ask for their own space. They could see you 24 hours a day and they don't get tired of seeing you. While a white sister, maybe a white sister will get tired of seeing you. So the white sisters, they like polygamy. Because the white sisters, they like their own space, while the Asian women, they don't like their own space. They want to see their husbands 24 hours a day, every day. That is my experience with women. My experience with women tells me the Asian women, they don't mind seeing their husbands 24/7, every day. And they will never ask for space, an Asian woman. While a white woman will ask for her own space. This is my experience where women are concerned. Yes, so a sister is able to propose to a brother because in Islam, women are allowed to propose to brothers. Next question. On a person who is engaged to get married to the fiancé, the answer ليست ملزمة لأنها ليست عقد وإنما هي وعد بعقد. It is not compulsory on you to marry your fiancé. You can change your mind. The scholar, and as I told you, I am reading from my notes that I gathered. Assalamu alaikum. I'm back with you. Can you hear me? We are discussing. Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, shukran. We are discussing the proposal and the engagement. The proposal can take place in the form of a text message, an SMS, a text message. The proposal can take place in the form of an email. You can email a sister your proposal. It can be done in text message, SMS. It can be done over the phone. And it can be done face to face. You can see the sister and propose to her face to face at the masjid. In that case, the sister needs to say, "Speak to my wali." The sister should say, "Have a word with my wali." She is not allowed to undertake her nikah behind the back of her wali. Because the Prophet said, any woman who gets married without her wali permission, the marriage is batil, batil, batil. And the Prophet used the word batil 3 times. So the sister is obliged to say, "Speak to my wali," and we will take things from there. And if she is not interested because there is no chemistry, you should tell the brother, I'm not interested. You don't have to say there is no chemistry, just say I'm not interested, and nobody is allowed to press the sister to give a reason why she turned the proposal down. And yes, nobody is allowed to press the sister to give a reason why she rejected the brother. Because of the ayah, Surah 5, 101. All who believe, don't ask questions. When the answer is given to you, it hurts you. Shukran for the ayah. يَلَذِينَ أَمَنُوا لَا تَسْأَلُوا أَنْ أَشْيَاءٍ إِن تُبْدَ لَكُمْ تَسُؤْكُمْ. All you believe, don't ask questions. When the answer is given to you, it causes you hurt. This is the reason why you don't pressed the sister to give an answer why she turns the proposal down. Yes, the Sheikh said, هل الخطبة ملزمة لكل من طرفين بالزواج. Listen to the question. هل الخطبة ملزمة لكل من طرفين بالزواج. Is it compulsory on a person to marry their fiancé? Listen to the answer the Sheikhs give. ليست ملزمة لأنها ليست عقد. It is not compulsory on you to marry your fiancé. You can change your mind because maybe you investigated the character of the person and you uncover disturbing revelations about his character or her character. Maybe you discover disturbing revelations about her character. Maybe you discovered she is divorced because she used to cheat on her husband. You can't marry somebody like that. She is divorced because she used to cheat on her husband. He is divorced because he's a wife beater. He's a wife beater. You can't marry somebody like that. The Prophet told Fatima bin Qais, Muawiyah proposed to you and Abu Jahm. Muawiyah is a time waster and Abu Jahm is a wife beater. So don't marry them. Marry Usama. Don't marry any of them. Marry Usama. She said, I was shocked when the Prophet said marry Usama because Usama is very, very black. Usama is very black. Shadid as-Sawad, the hadith said. And the marriage was successful. Maybe you can bring the hadith where the Prophet said, where the girl said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Fatima bin Qais went to the Prophet seeking marital advice when both Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan and Abu Jahm had proposed to her. The Prophet told her, Muawiyah is stingy and tight-fisted and Abu Jahm beats his woman, so marry Usama instead. The hadith is found in Muslim. Yes, so the father of Muawiyah was stingy. Abu Sufyan himself was stingy. And because Abu Sufyan was stingy, Hind said to the Prophet, you told us not to steal, but my husband is stingy. Can I steal from him to support the household expenditures? And the Prophet said, take from him what is necessary to run the house. Take from him the amount of money that is necessary for you to run the house. So the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Abu Sufyan was stingy and his son grew up to be stingy as well. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. As I was saying, you're allowed to change your mind about your fiancé because of disturbing revelations that you uncover. If a sister changed her mind about a brother, she needs to return the gifts that he gave her. So, take for example, he gave her a laptop computer before they get married, and then she changed her mind and said, I don't want to marry you. She has to return the laptop. Even though you might be emotionally attached to your laptop, if you change your mind about a brother, you have to return all the gifts that he showered you with. Men like to shower women with gifts. That's a manly thing. We give gifts to women before marriage and after marriage. Before marriage and after marriage. That's what we do as men. We shower women with gifts. So, you, the sisters, if you change your mind about a brother, I'm afraid you have to return the gift or the gifts that he gave you. You have to return them to the brother. The next chapter, ما حكم خطبة الرجل على خطبة أخيه. We covered that. ما هي. Okay, the next chapter is kafa'a, adequateness in marriage. The person taking notes, the next chapter is adequateness. Adequateness in marriage. Adequateness in marriage means you are not allowed to marry beneath your status. This is the meaning of adequateness in marriage, and it is called kafa'ah. Listen to how it is pronounced. Kafa'ah. Adequateness in marriage. Meaning you shouldn't marry beneath your status. It's the same word Allah used in the Holy Quran in Surah Ikhlas. وَلَمْ يَكُلْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ. Kufuwan meaning Allah has no co-equal. So it's the same word Allah used, kafa'a, kufuwan, adequateness. Allah has no co-equal. So whenever you are married, you should marry someone on your status. The first adequateness is adequateness in regards to deen. Adequateness in regards to deen. You are not allowed to marry beneath your status in regards to deen, because Allah Ta'ala said, do not marry the pagan women until they believe. Baqarah 221. Don't marry pagan girls until they believe. وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. So this is the first adequateness. You are not allowed to marry beneath your status in regards to deen. You have to marry a believer like yourself, because of the commandment of Allah Ta'ala in Baqarah 221. وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ وَلَا أَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. And indeed, a slave woman who is a believer is better than a free mushrika, idolatress, even though she pleases you in regards to her physical appearance or in regards to her wealth. If you are a Muslim man and you marry a Hindu girl, a Buddhist girl, a Sikh girl, your marriage is batil and you are living in sin. And the other ayah says, a Muslim girl is not lawful for a kafir man. Surah 60 verse 10. Surah 60 verse 10. Why did Allah send down the ayah, Surah 60 verse 10? Because some women migrated from Mecca to Medina and their husband said, send them back, send them back. These women should not be allowed to migrate to go and join Muhammad in Medina. Send them back. You signed a treaty with us that you will send them back. You signed a treaty at Hudaybiyah, the treaty of Hudaybiyah, so send them back. And Allah Ta'ala said in Surah 60 verse 10, don't send them back after you examine them and you found out that they are Muslim girls, because these Muslim girls are not lawful wives for those kafir men. And those kafir men, they are not lawful husbands for these Muslim girls. So the Prophet could not send them back because Allah forbade the Prophet from sending them back to Mecca to live with their kafir husbands. Surah 60 verse 10. And the other evidence likewise hold not to the disbelieving women as wives and ask for the return of which you have spent. The part of the ayah I want you to bring me is Ya Yaladina Amanu, or you believe. If believing women come to you as immigrants, examine them as to what their faith is. And if you found out that they are believing women, don't send them back. يا الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم المؤمنات مهاجرات فامتحنوهن الله أعلم بإيمانهن فإن علمتموهن مؤمنات فلا ترجعوهن إلى الكفار. Or you believe, when believing women come to you as immigrants, examine them. Allah knows best as to their faith. Then if you ascertain that they are true believers, send them not back. Okay, bring me the other part of the ayah. Allah said, send them not back to the disbelievers. They are not lawful wives for the disbelievers, nor are the disbelievers lawful husbands for them. Okay, bring me the ayah and stop at the word them. Surah 60, verse 10. It's along at the word them. Status in regards to deen. You have a pious Muslim daughter at home. How can you marry her to a man who sells drugs on the streets, crack cocaine on the streets? Or you believe, when believing women come to you as immigrants, examine them. Allah knows best as to their faith. Then if you ascertain that they are true believers, send them not back to the disbelievers. They are not lawful wives for the disbelievers, nor are the disbelievers lawful husbands for them. Shukran, full stop. This is the part of the ayah I want. So this ayah proves that there is adequateness in regards to deen. You are not allowed to marry beneath your status. And already I quote you Baqarah 221. وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. Bring me the ayah, Baqarah 221. Don't marry the pagan girls until they take shahada, until they believe. وَلَا أَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَ خَيْرٌ مِنْ مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. The Amma, the slave girl who is a believer, is better than the pagan girl. Because the slave girl who is a believer, at least she can bring up pious kids for you. Baqarah 221. The other evidence to prove to you that you cannot marry beneath your status in regards to your deen, if you are practicing, you are not allowed to marry somebody who is not practicing. The other evidence is Surah 24, verse 26. الخبيثات للخبيثين والخبيثون للخبيثات والطيبات للطيبين والطيبون للطيبات. Surah 24, verse 26. Evil women are for evil men, and evil men are for evil women. Good women are for good men, and good men are for good women. This is the other evidence to prove that you are not allowed to marry beneath your status. Can you imagine you have a husband and you tell your daughter you are now at puberty, you are 12, it's time to wear hijab, and your husband says hijab is not necessary, there is no need to wear hijab. Everything you say, he contradicts you. What kind of a marriage is that? Every single thing you say, your husband contradicts you because he's not practicing. What kind of a marriage is that? So Allah said in Surah 24, verse 26, good women are for good men, and good men are for good women. Evil women are for evil men, and evil men are for evil women. Okay, we move on. Bad women for bad men, and bad people. Bad men for bad women. The reason why Allah revealed the ayah is because when the Sahabas migrated from Mecca to Medina, they were poor, and some of them were living in the masjid. And Abu Hurairah was in charge of the people who live in the masjid. Whenever they have issues, they would express it to Abu Hurairah, and Abu Hurairah will speak to the Prophet about it. He was the Amir of those people. They call him Ashabu Sufa. A girl in Medina proposed to a Muslim brother and said, marry me. And he was hesitating. Now, this girl was a prostitute. That's how she earned a living. So, prostitutes, they fall, even though they sleep with many men, they always fall in love with one man. Prostitutes, they are human beings like everybody else. They have emotions like everybody else. So, they always fall in love with a man. They are women like every other woman. when the Sahaba approached the Prophet and asked the Prophet about marrying this girl, Allah revealed Surah Nur, verse 26. Al-Khabithat lil-Khabithin wal-Khabithin lil-Khabithat. Evil women are for evil men, and evil men are for evil women. This is called Asbab al-Nuzul, causes of revelation. The other kafa'a is in regards to nasab, lineage. Kafa'a in regards to lineage is adequateness in regards to lineage is upheld by Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Ahmed ibn Hanbal. So their view is if a woman is fluent in Arabic and she got married to a man and the man can barely speak Arabic, she can ask for a khula or fasakh. This is the madhab of Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Ahmed ibn Hanbal. But Imam Malik said, I beg to differ. This is not a reason for a khula. So Imam Malik said, I beg to differ. It's not a reason for a khula. But according to Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Ahmed ibn Hanbal, the Arabic language raises your status above others, and it is a reason to divorce a person if they can't speak proper Arabic, because it is your right for your kids to be fluent in Arabic. It is your right for your kids to be fluent in Arabic. So if you marry to somebody who can't speak Arabic, or they speak it but they speak broken Arabic, then it is a reason for a khula. The correct opinion is the opinion of the Jamhur. So if an Arab father should turn down the proposal of a person who cannot speak Arabic, he's not being racist. Because Arabic is the language of the Qur'an and it is the Sunnah of Allah. And every language is inferior to the Arabic language. Because Arabic is the Sunnah of Allah. He chose to reveal the Qur'an in Arabic. So if an Arab father should turn down somebody's proposal because they cannot speak Arabic, he's not being racist, because that man is not adequate for his daughter. And this is the madhab of Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Ahmed ibn Hanbal. It is only Imam Malik who said, I beg to differ. This is not a reason for a divorce. Now, when Fatima bin Qais accepted the proposal of Osama bin Zayd, she was from Quraysh, the most noble tribe, yet the Prophet recommended for her to marry a person who she said was very black. So far, nobody brought me the hadith where Fatima said Osama was very black. So I disliked the idea initially. You couldn't find the hadith? Never mind. Even though she was of Quraysh and he was black, the marriage succeeded because they both spoke Arabic. So there was no communication barrier. Because many people will be surprised, how can such a marriage survive? She was from Quraysh. Also, Bilal was black as well, and he married the sister of Abdurrahman bin Auf. So Abdurrahman bin Auf was Qurayshi, and his sister was of noble birth. She was very beautiful, a very beautiful woman from Quraysh, from a rich family, the family of Abdurrahman bin Auf. But that's because these people, they became Arabized. They became Arabized by becoming fluent in Arabic. So they were able to blend into the society. So because they became Arabized and they blend into the society, they were able to speak fluent Arabic. Then they can marry from any tribe, even the highest tribe, Quraysh. But a person who cannot speak Arabic, the scholars say it is a reason for a khula. And this is the madhab of Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, and Ahmad ibn Hanbal. However, Imam Malik said, I beg to differ, and he did not list it as a reason for divorce in his book of marriage, in his chapter. The next adequateness is in regards to profession. There is adequateness in regards to profession. So there's adequateness in regards to deen, and adequateness in regards to lineage, your status in the society, and adequateness in regards to your profession. Therefore, it is unwise for you to marry your daughter. Your daughter graduated from Oxford, Cambridge, or MIT, Harvard, as a doctor, and you marry her to a man who cleans the toilet in the hospital. She's working as a doctor in the hospital, yet her husband is the janitor, cleaning the toilet, flushing the toilets. This is not adequateness in regards to a profession. Therefore, this marriage, if it is conducted, it is sahih, it is not batil, but it is unwise. Listen carefully. If your daughter sees him and fell in love with him, she's a doctor and she fell in love with a janitor, the man who cleans the toilet. If she marries him, the marriage is sahih. You cannot say her marriage is batil. All we can say is that what she did was unwise, because she married beneath her status. So do not get the impression that we are saying the marriage is batil because she's a doctor and she marries a janitor, a man who cleans the toilet. The marriage is not batil and she's not living in sin. All we can say is that what she did is unwise because she married beneath her status in regards to profession. However, if a woman is practicing and she marries a man who is not practicing, that marriage is batil. I repeat, a sister is practicing, she prays her salah, she wears hijab and prays salah, and she marries a man who is not practicing, he doesn't pray, that marriage is batil. So, in regards to adequateness in regards to deen, adequateness in regards to deen makes the marriage batil if you marry beneath your status. Likewise, if a Muslim man should marry a pagan girl, a Hindu girl, a Buddhist girl, a Sikh girl, that marriage is batil, and the kids who were born from that marriage are bastard kids because the marriage is batil. So, whenever you marry beneath your status in regards to deen, your marriage is batil. But if you marry beneath your status in regards to profession, you have money and your husband has no money. You are a doctor. You earn $50,000 a year, and he earns $20,000 a year. The marriage is still valid. The only time the marriage is not valid is when you marry beneath your status in regards to deen. So, all of you Muslim women who are living with men who don't pray, these men who don't pray, they are kuffar and you are living in sin. And each time you go to bed with him, you are committing zina because your husband is a kafir who doesn't pray. And when you abandon salah, it makes you become a kafir. The next, adequateness in regards to handsomeness. Adequateness in regards to handsomeness. There was a man in Whitechapel in Tower Hamlets called the Elephant Man. You can Google him and look at his face. Very, very ugly. He chases away everybody that sees him with his ugliness. If your daughter is not attracted to a man, your daughter is pretty and she is not attracted to a man, she finds him ugly, you are not allowed to force her to marry the man, because the scholars listed adequateness in regards to handsomeness. So a person who was deformed in his face and your daughter doesn't like him, she cannot find herself living with him, you are not allowed to force her to marry such a man, because the scholars listed adequateness in regards to handsomeness. Oh, you found the link. Okay, that was quick. Joseph Merrick. You can look at the Elephant Man in your own spare time, not now. There is no woman in the world who will marry the Elephant Man, even if he was a billionaire, because his ugliness would chase away any woman and makes her want to vomit. And the reason why the scholars list adequateness in regards to handsomeness is because you are not allowed to marry anybody without chemistry. Chemistry is a crucial part of the marriage. Chemistry is important for men because we need an erection to consummate our marriage. And no Muslim brother is allowed to marry without chemistry. Recently, I sent a photograph to a brother of a sister and said, "What do you think about this sister for marriage?" And he told me he's not interested because there's no chemistry. I respect that brother. I respect that brother because the brother was honest. The brother was honest. I like honesty. He said, "I'm sorry, Sheikh Faisal, I cannot marry that sister because there's no chemistry." I respect such a brother. No brother is allowed to marry without chemistry because you need an erection to consummate your marriage, and without the chemistry, you will never have an erection. And the evidence to prove that you need chemistry, the words of Allah Ta'ala, فَانْكِحُوا مَا تَابَ لَكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. Allah told you, Allah used the word taba. Taba means woman of your choice, woman who you choose because you are attracted to them. Surah Nisa, verse 3. فَانْكِحُوا مَا تَابَ لَكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. The word taba from the word tayyib. Marry women who are pleasing to you. Mathna wa thalatha wa ruba', 2, 3, or 4. So it is totally unwise for you to marry without chemistry. Okay, the scholars mention adequateness in regards to mal, profession, adequateness in regards to deen, adequateness in regards to handsomeness. What is the Islamic ruling in regards to the mahar? The next chapter, the mahar. The mahar is compulsory based upon the dowry is compulsory because of what Allah said in Surah Nisa, verse 24. فَمَا اسْتَعْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْهِنْ فَآتُوهُنْ أُجُورَهُنْ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, the scholars of Islam, they use Surah 4, verse 24 as the evidence to say that the mahar is compulsory. give them their mahar as prescribed. But if after a mahar is prescribed, you agree mutually to give more, there is no sin on you. Surely Allah is ever all-knowing, the all-wise. So this is the hujjah used by the scholars to say the mahar is compulsory. Now, the mahar can be delayed. You might, but the mahar can be delayed. And the mahar should be announced on the day of the marriage. I am getting married to this sister, and the mahar is $500 US, $1,000 US, $2,000 US. The mahar has to be announced in front of the two witnesses. If you get married to the sister and you forgot to mention the mahar, the both of you were so excited to get married, you forgot about mahar completely. It happens. You are so excited to get married, you forgot totally about mahar. Even though you did not mention the mahar, the marriage is still accepted. The scholars of Islam say the mahar can be decided after the nikah. The both of you are so excited to get married, the mahar. The wali makes the demand for the mahar. The mahar doesn't have to be money, it can be to teach the sister how to read the Qur'an. So the mahar can be, it doesn't have to be money, it can be knowledge. Because a woman proposed to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Prophet didn't accept her proposal because there was no reason why the Prophet should marry that woman. All the marriages of the Prophet was for a reason. Sometimes he married a woman because she's a widow with nobody to look after her. When the Prophet married a woman, it wasn't for sex. It was never for sex. When the Prophet married Zainab bin Jahsh, he didn't want to marry her. Allah said, we marry her to you so that the people will know that their adopted son is not like their biological son, and they can marry the wives of their adopted son. When the Rasul married Hafsa, it was to cement the brotherhood between himself and Omar. When he married Aisha, a young, intelligent woman, is for her to become a scholar so that she can teach the Ummah her knowledge. So when you read about the Prophet and you heard the Prophet married 9 wives, sometimes the Prophet would marry 2 women from 2 tribes because the tribes used to kill each other. And the Prophet married the women to stop the killing, the tribalism, and the bloodletting. So when the Prophet married these women, it wasn't for sex. It was always for a strategic reason. And because of that, he only got married to 1 virgin in his lifetime. Sometimes his marriage is for a political reason. When the Rasul married to Juwayriya, she was the daughter of the chief, Banu Mustaliq. And when the Prophet married her, the whole tribe embraced Islam. Aisha said, I've never seen a woman who was of barakah to her people more than Juwayriya. So I put it to you that when the Prophet married to so many women, it was always for a strategic reason, to help Islam. His marriages were not for sex. It was always for the dawah, to help the dawah, to help Islam. Yes, so the dowry can be knowledge for the brother to teach the sister how to, the daughter of a Jewish Juwayriya. No, the Juwayriya was not the daughter of the Jew. I don't think so. Juwayriya was Arab. The Jew was Safiya. Juwayriya was the daughter of the chief of Banu Mustaliq. Banu Mustaliq, they were Arabs, not Jews were from Khaybar. And the Jewish girl the Prophet married, her name was Safiya. So please correct the notes. Safiya is the Jewish girl he married who became a good Muslim later. But Juwayriya was the daughter of a chief. The chief, his tribe is called Banu Mustaliq. And when the Prophet married Juwayriya, the whole tribe embraced Islam because they considered it an honor for their daughter to be married to the Prophet. So the whole tribe embraced Islam. Aisha said, I've never seen a woman who was of greater barakah to her people than Juwayriya. The name of the tribe was Banu Mustaliq. It was at this battle Aisha got lost. The battle of Banu Mustaliq. Banu Mustaliq is the name of the tribe, yes. And Juwayriya was the daughter of the chief of the tribe. So the dowry can be the knowledge of the brother, because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam married a man to a woman, or he married the woman to the man. He said, Zawwajtukaha bima ma'aka min al-Qur'an. I marry her to you, and the dowry is for you to teach her what you memorize of the Holy Qur'an. So the dowry can be knowledge, it can be your knowledge of Qur'an and Sunnah, or it can be Arabic language, to teach her the Arabic language. And the dowry can be promised and given later. It doesn't have to be given on the day of the marriage. And the scholar said the evidence to prove that the dowry can be delayed is because the man didn't have the dowry to give on the day of the marriage, because the dowry is for him to teach her to recite the Qur'an properly and to teach her the surahs he memorized. So this means that the dowry cannot be delivered on the day of the marriage. It has to be promised and given later. Because of the hadith I just told you, where the Prophet married a man to a woman and the dowry was to teach her the Qur'an, Imam Malik used the hadith to say that if you are a Quranic teacher, you are teaching kids the Qur'an in the masjid, you are allowed to charge their parents a fee. This is whose madhab? The madhab of Imam Malik. You are allowed to charge their parents a fee if you are a Quranic teacher teaching people how to read the Qur'an in the masjid, or you go to their homes to teach them how to read the Qur'an. You can charge a fee because the Prophet married a woman to a man and the dowry was for him to teach her what he memorized of the whole Qur'an. No, I didn't say Imam Malik. If I said Imam Malik is a mistake, it's Imam Shafi who passed the fatwa. If I said Imam Malik, it's a mistake. Because it was Imam Shafi who passed the fatwa that you are allowed to charge a fee for teaching people how to read the Qur'an, because the Prophet married a man to a woman and the dowry was for him to teach her what he had memorized of the Holy Qur'an. The next chapter, can a kafir become the wali of a Muslim girl? A Muslim girl is a revert and her father is a kafir. Can he be the wali to give her away on the wedding day? Listen to the answer the scholars give. لا يجوز لقوله تعالى والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض. The scholars said that a kafir father cannot be the giveaway father on the wedding day. So on the wedding day, you have a father which is called the giveaway father, the wali who gives away the girl in marriage. The scholars quote Surah 9, Surah Tawbah, verse 71, as the evidence to say the giveaway father has to be a Muslim and not a Kafir. The other evidence used by the scholars to say the giveaway father has to be a Muslim and not a Kafir, and the giveaway father is called the Wali, the man who gives away the girl on the wedding day. Okay, where is Tawbah 71? That's the evidence the scholars use. The believers, men and women, are awliya. Look at the word awliya, that means wali. Helpers, supporters, friend protectors for one another. This is the hujjah used by the scholars to say the giveaway father has to be a Muslim. The scholars use another evidence, Surah 4, verse 141. Nisa 141. The other evidence used by the scholars to say the wali, the giveaway father on the wedding day, has to be a Muslim is Nisa 141. So, what did Allah say in Nisa 141? وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا. And never will Allah grant to the disbelievers a way to triumph over the believers. So, Allah will never give mastery. Allah will never give mastery to the disbelievers over the believers. The two witnesses for the Nikah, if you have an Imam performing the Nikah and two witnesses, the Imam can be the Wali and he can be the person performing the Nikah as well. The Imam who is performing the Nikah, he can also be the Wali. So if you have the boy, the girl, the Imam who is performing the Nikah and two witnesses, the marriage is valid because the Imam who is performing the Nikah, he can be the giveaway father as well. So the marriage is valid. And you need two witnesses for the Nikah to be valid. The next chapter is conditions within the marriage. Now, you have the conditions of the marriage to make the marriage valid. The conditions of the marriage there are 4 conditions. Okay, let's cover the conditions of the marriage. The conditions of the marriage are 4 conditions of the marriage. The 4 conditions are as follows. Agreement. So no one is allowed to be forced to marry. The first condition is agreement. Yes, the conditions of the marriage. Meaning, without these conditions, the marriage is not accepted. Agreement. Therefore, forced marriage is haram, and the evidence to prove it is Surah Nisa, verse 19, where Allah said, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا يَحِلَّكُمْ أَن تَرِثُوا النِّسَاءَ كَرْهًا. Surah Nisa, verse 19, is the evidence to prove that forced marriage is haram. Also, the hadith of Khansa, which hadith is long? The hadith of Khansa bin Khidam, in which the Prophet married her to a man and she didn't like the marriage, and the Prophet annulled the marriage. That's the name of the sister, and she was from the Ansars. Khansa bint Khidam. We are forbidden to inherit women against their will. Yes, that is the ayah used by all the scholars to say forced marriage is haram. This is the hujjah. The forced marriage is haram. Also, the hadith of Khansa bin Khidam. So, the first narrated Khansa bin Khidam al-Ansariyat that her father gave her in marriage when she was a matron, and Matron means non-virgin, and she disliked that marriage, so she went to Allah's apostle and he declared that marriage to be batil. Batil means invalid. The second condition for the marriage to be valid is 2 witnesses. Because of the hadith, there is no nikah without 2 witnesses. The Prophet said there is no nikah without 2 witnesses. Hello? Officer? Yeah, I'm on the net, you know. I'll ring back in an hour. The third condition for the marriage is a wali. And if the wali is awkward, then the girl has to appoint her own wali. So if the wali is awkward, he doesn't want her to get married, even though she has her sexual needs. He wants her to get married after 2, 3, 4 years. If the wali is awkward, then the girl has to appoint her own wali, a Muslim brother from the community, to give her away. But still she needs a wali. So in this case, she appoints her own wali if her wali is awkward, and no one is allowed to say that the sister did wrong. The fourth condition is the mahar, the dowry, and I brought you the hujjah for the dowry. The scholars use an ayah to say that the dowry is compulsory to be given. Surah Nisa verse 24 is a hujjah. Surah Nisa 24 is a hujjah to say that the dowry is compulsory. Surah 4 verse 24. The next chapter, the conditions. Okay, I've given you the 4 conditions of the marriage. Without these 4 conditions, the marriage is not accepted. Now you have conditions within the marriage. Conditions within the marriage, that is the next chapter. The scholars say that you should fulfill the conditions within the marriage. So, one of the conditions, a girl can stipulate, I want my own space, I don't want to live with my mother-in-law and father-in-law. That is an example of conditions within the marriage. She put a condition, I will marry you if you give me my own space. I don't want to live with my mother-in-law and father-in-law, because these in-laws, they always interfere. They can't stop interfering. So I want my own space. That's one example. The other example, I am in medical school and I want to finish. I have 2 years to finish my medical school and then I want to finish. That's another condition within the marriage. Another condition is that I have a problem with my eyes. I cannot wear niqab. I have to wear hijab because the niqab affects my eyesight. So do not impose niqab on me. For example, that's another condition. Now, this condition, the 4th condition that I'm going to tell you, this condition creates fitna among the scholars, in which she says, you are not allowed to marry a second wife with me. You are not allowed to marry a second wife with me. This 4th condition creates fitna, because Imam Malik said it is haram for her to put that condition on the brother, because polygamy is his right, especially if he has a high libido. And the Hanbali madhab allowed the woman to put that in the marriage. And the reason why the Malikis said it is haram is because she is making haram halal. She's making haram halal. So she's making polygamy haram by putting that condition on the brother. even though polygamy is halal, and the Prophet said the best men of my ummah are the ones with the most women. So this fourth condition is a condition of fitna, because even between the scholars themselves, they don't agree on this condition. The Hanbalis allow it, while the Malikis say that condition is haram, because she is making haram what is halal. And please correct the notes, she is making what is halal haram. She's making haram what is halal, yes. Okay, the Prophet said, marry for the best of this ummah are those with the most women, collected by Bukhari in the book of marriage. So the more women you have, the best you are as a Muslim, because if you have 2 wives, you are saving 2 women from zina, and if you have 3 wives, you are saving 3 women from zina. So because of that, the best of you are the ones with the most women, and this hadith is found in Bukhari. The other condition that a woman can put in the marriage is that my job is halal, because I teach at a girls' school. I work at a hospital, but I work in the maternity ward with women. You are not supposed to stop me from working because my job is halal. That's another condition she can put. The correct opinion is that of Imam Malik, that she should not impose that condition on the brother. The 2 opinions: can she impose on the brother, you cannot marry another woman with me? The Malikis said it is haram, and the Hanbalis said it is halal for her to impose that condition on the brother. The correct opinion is that of Imam Malik, that it is haram for her to put that condition, because by putting that condition, she is seeking to nullify one of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And every condition is permissible except a condition that makes haram what is halal. I will stop here for today. I'll stop here for today. I think I've been speaking for a long time. If you're not tired, I can continue with my notes. My notes is a lot. If you're not tired, I can continue with my notes. And we have to do divorce as well. Can you believe it? I've graduated from university in 1992 and I haven't covered divorce yet. This doesn't make sense. I have to do divorce. Okay, the next chapter. Yes, the Prophet said you should fulfill all the conditions of the marriage. The Prophet said you should fulfill all the conditions within the marriage. You should fulfill, because the hadith says, أحق شروط أن توفوا بها ما استحللتم به الفروج. The promises, the Prophet said, the promises you should keep the most are the ones that are connected to the private parts of women. So if you promise a sister something, you promise her that she will be allowed to finish her degree, or you will provide her with her own space. She doesn't have to live with in-laws. If you break the promise, then she can divorce you with fasakh. Whenever you promise a sister something, if you break your promise, she is allowed to divorce you with fasakh. Did you find the hadith? The promises you should keep the most are the ones that are connected to the private parts of women. So whenever you promise a sister something, you have to fulfill the promise. the beating of drums and singing is allowed at the walima, but the scholar said, leave that to the women. Listen to what the scholar said. هل الضرب بالدف والغناء جائز عند النكاح. Listen to the question. Is it allowed to beat drums and sing, which is ghina, on the day of the nikah? They said جائز. نعم جائز. ولكنه للنساء فقط. He said it is permissible, but leave that to the women. You can do this on the nikah, the day of the nikah, but leave that to the women. And the dalil, he's bringing dalil, what Bukhari narrated, and Aisha, and her Zaffat Imra'a ila Rajul min al Ansar, that the Ansars used to beat drums and sing when they get married. Qala Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Aisha, ma kana ma'akum lahu. The Prophet said, O Aisha, fa inna al Ansar yu'jibuhum al lahu. A woman from the Ansar got married. The Prophet said, Oh Aisha, did they have any singing and beating of drums? Because the people of the Ansars, they like fun. So the Ansars, they like fun, the people of Medina. The Prophet said, those people of Medina, they like fun. And the Prophet did not stop them from their fun. Even on Eid day, they used to have fun in the masjid. And they used to beat drums on Eid day. And Abu Bakr said, Are you singing the Psalms of the Shaitan in the Prophet's house? The Prophet said, Oh, Abu Bakr, for every people there is a day that they celebrate, and Eid is our day of celebration. So leave the girls alone to beat their drums and sing. The Prophet didn't stop the people from beating their drums and singing for weddings and for Eid. He said to Abu Bakr, everybody has their day that they have fun. And Eid day is our day to have fun. So the Prophet ﷺ was not boring like some of you might be thinking. He told Abu Bakr to leave the women alone to beat their drums and sing on Eid day, because that's our day to have fun, to celebrate. So the Rasul was not boring. Have you found the hadith? It is recorded by Al-Bukhari. As for walima, banquet of marriage, it is proved that Allah's Messenger gave banquets to all his wives, but there was difference between them concerning walima. He gave walima for some wife. The hadith I'm after is when the Prophet allowed people to have fun when they get married, to beat drums and to sing. And the Prophet said, the people of the Ansars, they like to have fun. He asked Aisha, did they have singing at their nikah, at the wedding? Because the Ansars like fun. Okay, the next chapter is secret marriage. Can you marry a girl in secret? Is it compulsory on you to announce that you got married to such and such a girl? The Maliki Madhab allows secret marriages. And the great scholar of Islam, Ahmad Shakir, he had 2 wives, and the first wife did not know about the second wife until after he died. Ahmad Shakir is one of the greatest scholars of Egypt. He lived in the 1950s. He had 2 wives. And the first wife did not know about the second wife until after he died. And no scholar past or present criticized Ahmad Shakir and said he was living in sin because he had a secret wife. I have a good friend in Trinidad. He had 2 wives, and the first wife did not know because he told the first wife he's gone for Tablighi Jama'ah. He told me his secret. I didn't tell anyone, because we men, we are good at keeping secrets. Why we keep secrets? To prove a point. Because we are macho. We keep secrets to prove a point. I can keep a secret because I'm a real man. One of my friends in Trinidad, he had 2 wives. And the first wife didn't know about the second wife because he told the first wife, I am gone for the Tablighi Jama'ah. So when she thought he was gone for Tablighi Jama'ah, he was with another wife and she didn't find out. But eventually she found out. I don't know how, but eventually she found out and she stayed with her husband. Eventually she found out and she stayed with her husband. She didn't leave. Women have a way of finding out these things. My experience with women is that when you go to the shower to have a shower, she checks up on your cell phone to see if you are getting proposals. Did you know that? Women check your cell phone to find out if another sister is proposing to you or you are proposing to another sister. That's my experience with women. They check up on the cell phone. It's amazing how the cell phone is a grass. Your cell phone is a super grass. The women check your cell phone to see if you are proposing to another sister or another sister is proposing to you. Well, women have a way of finding out. Subhanallah. Women make the best spies. Women make the best spies because they have a habit of spying on their husbands. Women are natural born spies, so they make the best spies. And they have a way of finding out if you have a secret wife. They will find out. Trust me, brothers, they will find out. Because all my friends in London who had secret wives, their wives found out eventually. So women make the best spies. Now, there is a hadith that says, announce marriages and beat the drums. Announce marriages and beat the drums. This hadith is da'if and it has no isnad. This hadith, announce your marriages and beat the drums. Those who oppose secret marriages, they quote this hadith, but the hadith is da'if and it is not a saying of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When a couple gets married, you should make a dua for them. You said, Barakallah laka. Barakallah laka wa baraka alayka wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. This is the dua you make for the newlywed. Barakallah laka wa baraka alayka wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. This is the dua you make for the newlywed. I will stop here because the next chapter is what to do in the bedroom when you get married. That's a different chapter altogether. What to do with your wife in the bedroom on the honeymoon. I'll stop here for today and take 10 questions. The next chapter, what to do with your wife in the bedroom on the honeymoon. So I'll stop here and continue tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. By the way, the correct opinion in regards to secret marriage is that it is makruh. The Malikis say that it is halal. The correct opinion is that secret marriage is makruh. It's neither halal nor haram, it is makruh. On the authority of Aisha, that she took a woman to her husband, a man among the Ansar, the Prophet ﷺ said, peace be upon him, O Aisha, did you have any singing with your procession? Verily the Ansars love such things. In another version, this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, did you send a servant girl along with her to beat the duff and sing? Yes, so the Prophet encouraged the singing on the wedding day, the beating of drums and singing, because the Prophet was not boring. And the Prophet said the Ansars, they like fun. Can somebody write the dua for newlyweds? What you recite for the newlyweds? Barakallah laka wa baraka alayka. Barakallah laka wa barakallah alayka wa jama'a bainakuma fi khair. Wa jama'a bainakuma fi khair. Barakallah laka wa baraka alayka wa jama'a bainakuma fi khair. Okay, that's a perfect transliteration by Authentic Tawhid 19. That is the dua for newlyweds, and the transliteration is perfect. Barakallahu laka wa baraka alayka wa jama'a bainakuma fi khair. Yes, that is a perfect transliteration from Authentic Tawhid 19. I would like to thank the following people for today's class. Those who work hard to bring you the Hujjah. I would like to thank Authentic Tawhid 19 for the notes. I would like to thank Authentic Tawhid 18 for the Quranic Hujjah. I would like to thank Maki Finger, Mujahida 101, and Authentic Tawhid 21 for the Hadith Hujjah. And I would like to thank the person who is going to take the questions. I think that is Authentic Tawhid 16, if I'm not mistaken, for the question and answer session. Okay, let us do the 10 questions. If a person is involved in riba and they die while they are in the hellfire forever, if you involve in riba, you won't be in hellfire forever. This is the Aqidah of the Khawarij. No Muslim will be in hell forever because of the hadith, يخرج من النار من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من الإيمان. Anyone with an atom's weight of Iman will come out of the hellfire. So to say that a Muslim will be in hellfire forever for dabbling in riba, this is the Aqidah of the Khawarij. No Muslim will be in hell forever. Next question, please. Sheikh, is it safe to say that the Saudi Salafis are kafir and not just Khawarij, as the Salafis didn't consider Khawarij as kafirs? Yes, Ali didn't make takfir on the Khawarij. There's a lot of people that lead the Salah in the Saudi Salafi mosque that's near my house, especially kids. Can we pray behind them, or should we avoid praying behind them, period? If you pray behind a Saudi Salafi, he has no Salah, but you have your Salah. If you pray behind a Saudi Salafi, he has no Salah, but you have your Salah. And the reason for this is because they went against the Ijma of the Ummah. The Ijma of the Ummah says to dismantle the Sharia of Allah is a major kufr. Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah said that is our Ijma, the Ijma of the Muslims. The Saudi Salafis, they went against the Ijma of the Ummah. They say to dismantle the Sharia is a minor kufr. Secondly, they believe that it is halal to cooperate with the MI5, the FBI, and snitch on Muslims and help the kuffar to catch the mujahideen and dump them in prison. When I was in Belmarsh prison, I met many brothers who were in prison because of the handiworks of Abdullah Baker. Abdullah Baker, he put many people in prison, and even the wife of one of the brothers who was in prison, she comes into our room every day. She told me that Abdullah Baker put her husband in Belmarsh. I won't tell you her nick because that's private between me and her, unless she wants to reveal herself. So the leader of the Salafis in the UK, Abdullah Baker, he used to collect £300,000 a year to snitch on the Muslims. And they stopped his money, and he was crying. He said he doesn't know why the British government stopped his money. He was crying for the money. Abdullah Baker collected £300,000 a year to snitch on the Muslims. So the Saudi Salafis, they make it halal to snitch on the Muslims and to cooperate with the FBI, the MI5, the CIA to put Muslims in prison and throw away the key. The Saudi Salafis do not reject the Taghut. They do not reject the Taghut, they are in bed with the Taghut. The Saudi Salafis, they do not reject the Taghut, instead, they are in bed with the Taghut, so that's another reason why they are kuffar. And they have made up their own religion. And their aqidah goes against the ijma quoted by Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah. The stench of their hypocrisy is excruciating and obnoxious because they say we follow Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah, and when we quote unto them the fatwa of Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah that to dismantle the Sharia is major kufr, they rebelled against the fatwa of Ibn Kathir and Ibn Taymiyyah. Many of you believe that the worst kafir in the UK is David Cameron. That's not the case. The worst kafir in the UK is Abu Khadija, as Saudi Salafi. The worst kafir in the UK is not David Cameron. The worst kafir is Abu Khadija, because he is the one who is preaching that you can snitch on Muslims and that to dismantle the Sharia of Allah is a minor kufr, even though Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Kathir said it is a major kufr. They have changed Islam, they have made up their own religion, and what they practice is a cult, it's not Islam. And if you go against the ijma of the Muslims, you belong to a cult. Because Allah told you in Surah Nisa 115 that those who go against the ijma of the Muslims, He shall dump them in the hellfire to abide forever and ever. Surah Nisa 115. Allah warned you, if you go against the ijma of the Muslims, you shall be dumped into the hellfire to abide forever. Or shukran for the hujjah. And whoever contradicts and opposes the messenger, وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقْ الرَّسُولِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. And whosoever contradicts and opposes the messenger Muhammad after the right path has been shown clear to him, and follows other than the believers' way, we shall keep him in the path he has chosen and burn him in hell. What an evil destination! What a hapless journey's end! What an evil abode! So this ayah is used by all the scholars of Islam to say that you are not allowed to go against the ijma of the ummah. If you go against the ijma, means agreement. If you go against the ijma of the ummah, you shall be in hellfire forever. These people, they are shameless. They snitch on Muslims and they collect a salary for that purpose. And they make it permissible to snitch on the Muslims and to help the CIA to catch the Mujahideen. They help the Kuffar to catch the Mujahideen. In Belmarsh, I saw a lot of people who were in Belmarsh. They said because the Salafis submitted their names to the MI5. The Saudi Salafis submitted their names to the MI5. So these people are outside the fold of Islam and they are pretending to be Muslims, but their kufr is clear as daylight. Next question, please. What is the ruling on a sister shaving her arms if they are hairy? It is compulsory on a sister to shave her arms and her private parts. It is compulsory on every Muslim, male and female, to shave their arms, the armpit, and her private parts. And you can shave your arms as well, not just your armpit. You're allowed to shave the hair on your legs. A Muslim woman is allowed to shave every hair except the hair on her head. A Muslim woman is allowed to shave every hair except the hair on her head. And she's not allowed to shave her eyebrows as well. You have to leave your eyebrows as they are, don't shave your eyebrows. Because Allah curses women who shave their eyebrows. So leave your eyebrows as they are don't shave that, and don't shave the hair on your head, but you're allowed to shave every other hair. She means forearms. She's allowed to shave the hair on her forearms as well as her leg. A Muslim woman can shave the hair on her forearms as well as her legs. The only hair she cannot shave is her eyebrows. She should leave it, and she's not allowed to shave the hair on her head. Allah curses women who shave their eyebrows, by the way. Allah curses the women who shave their eyebrows. Tafaddal, next question, please. Maybe you should bring the hadith to prove that Allah curses women who shave their eyebrows, just in case some people are not convinced about what I'm saying. But then again, in this room, I don't speak from my own opinion. I bring the Hujjah, Qur'an and Sunnah. People can't cope with the Hujjah. If a sister leads a brother on and breaks his heart and she is flirting with the brother, does this mean she is a woman who might sleep around? I ask, as a sister led me on and I'm a bit weary of mine another sister, what do I do? If a sister leads you on and then break your heart, she's not marriage material. There was a sister on Facebook, and this sister had 11 fiancés. She led 11 brothers on Facebook, and she was confused. She did not know what to do. She was trapped, so she faked her own death to get out of it. She faked her own death, claiming that she died on the wheels of a truck, or she was knocked down by a car on Facebook. She had 11 fiancés. 11 brothers were chasing one sister. And she was a white revert. To get out of it, she faked her own death. So you have sisters who lead brothers on. They are not marriage material, and you need to make bara from these people and pursue another sister away from the internet. May Allah curse women who wears false hair or arrange it for others, who tattoo or have themselves tattooed, who pluck facial hair or eyebrows or have them plucked, and women who separate their front teeth for beauty, altering what Allah has created. Al-Dhahabi narrated it in Al-Kaba'ir, and he said it is agreed upon by both Bukhari and Muslim. So this is the hadith I quote for you earlier about shaving your eyebrows. It is haram. A lot of Muslim sisters shave their eyebrows because they are following the media. They live their life according to what the media tells them to do. And these Muslim sisters, they are jahil. They did not know that Allah curses women who shave their eyebrows. You are not jahil anymore because the hadith is in front of you on the screen in black and white. We did a topic called the weaknesses of mankind, and we covered 26 weaknesses. And we said one of the weaknesses is that people like to lead others on because it is exciting. It is called the thrill of the chase. We did cover this weakness, leading people on. We covered 26 weaknesses of mankind in this room. Have you forgotten? And one of the weaknesses is that people like to borrow money and don't pay it back. When you're meeting your future spouse, how can you make it unawkward if you are really an awkward person? You should meet the person in the company of her wali, because sisters who meet brothers by themselves, they always end up doing haram. So you should meet, the sister should go to meet you with her wali. Some sisters, they go to meet a brother on a date by themselves. You have to be careful, because I told you that a man thinks about sex every 5 minutes. You can be a victim of rape. So you should meet the sister in the company of her wali to make it unawkward. Next question. Okay, the wali is helping you to find the CD, the weaknesses of mankind that we covered, the 26 weaknesses. We covered that topic here in details. If you keep on committing zina and you made repentance many times sincerely from your heart and still sometimes you go back to it, can I still repent, or is there no room for me to repent? You can still repent because of the hadith, Inna Allah yaqbal tawbat al-abd ma lam yugharghir. Allah accepts the tawbah of a servant as long as his death didn't rattle. As long as his death didn't rattle. So you can still make repentance. Maybe you can bring the hadith, Allah accepts the tawbah of a servant as long as his death didn't rattle. Meaning he is gasping for life and he is about to die. Yugharghir, he is gasping for life and he's about to die. I'll take 4 more questions before I go. Is the placenta from sheep used in cosmetic allowed? I have to claim ignorance about this. I don't know of any scholar who makes it haram. I don't know of any scholar who makes it haram. However, the placenta from pig is haram in cosmetic. But because sheep is a halal animal and it is a clean animal, I don't know of any scholar who passed a fatwa saying that it is haram. If it was from pig, then it is clear cut, because there is ijma among the scholars that you have to abstain from pork and the byproducts of pork. The placenta of pig, that's clear, it is haram. The placenta of the sheep, I don't know of any scholar who makes it haram, because sheep is a clean animal. The Lord of honor and glory will accept the repentance of a servant till his death rattles begins. Okay, shukran for finding the hadith collected by At-Tirmidhi. This is the answer for the person who keeps committing zina and he keeps making tawbah. Allah will accept your tawbah as long as you make tawbah before your death rattles. And please save this hadith, because I might quote it again, and you can expect to learn thousands of hadiths in this room, because I memorized thousands of hadiths over the years in Saudi Arabia from the lips of over 150 different sheikhs. I was told by someone in the medical field a while ago in PM that the sheep is healthy for the skin. Do you know, brothers in Toronto, Canada, that you can recommend to me so we can start our masjid in Dawah here? I have contact with brothers in Canada. Yes, I have contact with brothers in Canada. Brothers and sisters. I will have a word with them and see what but they are scattered all over the place. Some of them are in BC, British Columbia, which is Vancouver. Some of them are in Mississauga. Some of them are in Alberta. They are scattered all over the place. I have contact with brothers and sisters in Canada, but they are scattered all over the place. You are in Toronto. Okay, I will see what I can come up with, because my contacts in Canada is all over the place. Some of them are in something called Calgary. Calgary, yes, some of them are in Calgary. So they are scattered all over the place. A lot of Canadians come into this room. The bulk of the people who come into this room are British, Americans, and Canadians. And the British, they think they own me because I was there for 15 years. The British brothers and sisters in the room, they think they own me because I was there for 15 years. And when I was in prison, they looked after me. They didn't abandon me. Okay, what's the next question? They do own me, yes. They behave like they own me because I was there for 15 years and they looked after me. Even when the kuffar put me in prison, they rallied behind me and supported me. They didn't abandon me. So they think they own me, the brothers and sisters from the UK. I'm taking 2 more questions because I promised you 10 questions. Mississauga is where the brother is. Okay, I have to find out what I can come up with. If I stop committing zina when I get married, that means I didn't stop for the sake of Allah. It's just because I got married. No, you stop for the sake of Allah because you got married for the sake of Allah. You got married for the sake of Allah. And if you stop committing zina when you get married, it means that you're a good person. And if you stop committing zina when you get married, you did it for the sake of Allah because your marriage was fi sabilillah. Your marriage was fi sabilillah to protect your chastity. So if you stop committing zina when you get married, it was for the sake of Allah. Yeah, I love the brothers and sisters in US and Canada as well as Australia, not just the UK, but I'm saying that the UK Muslims, because I was with them for 15 years and they supported the dawah and rallied behind me for the dawah to be successful, they think they own me because they supported the dawah. But I love everyone. Oh, a sister just sent me a PM and she's from the US, she's from the UK. And the sister said in her PM a while ago that we own you, Sheikh Faisal. We own you. This is a white revert who just sent me the PM. So we own you, Sheikh Faisal. But I am for the Ummah of Muhammad, not just for one person. Yes. So a sister just sent me a PM and she did not mince her words. She's a white revert and she said, we own you, Sheikh Faisal. At the moment, I'm swamped with Walaikum salam. No, I won't be there. I'm not hungry, sorry. But I'm coming, never mind. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay, I'm taking one last question because I've answered 9 already. Okay, this is the 10th and last. My family is asking me to come and eat with them, but I'm not hungry. If my husband wants to do poly and I do not, and we did not agree before we got married, do I have a right to divorce him? It's better for you to be patient with your husband if you love him rather than to divorce him. It's better for you to be patient because polygamy is not a strong enough reason to divorce your husband. The only time you can divorce your husband when he does polygamy is if the polygamy causes him to oppress you. If the polygamy caused him to ignore you and oppress you, and your rights were not fulfilled, then you can divorce him. But after polygamy, if he continues to be a loving husband, then you should be patient with polygamy because of the hadith. Any woman who was patient when her husband practiced polygamy, she will go to Jannah. Any woman who was patient when her husband practiced polygamy, she will go to Jannah. Now, I am sure that the sister who asked the question is of Asian background. Because my experience with women is that Asian women find it difficult to practice polygamy. And when I ask them why is it that polygamy is difficult for you, they say our love is real. When we love a man, we love him completely, so it's difficult to share our man. That's the answer they give. She is African American. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was an expert with women issues and I got it wrong. Subhanallah. I thought I was an expert with women issues and look, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. It's an African American who's African. I was told that the African American sisters, they accept polygamy gracefully. That's what I was told. That the African American sisters, they accept polygamy gracefully. Even the white reverts, they accept polygamy gracefully. And it's the Asian women who have a problem with polygamy. Because the Asian culture is all about love, 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 love. They want to get married to the person they love and live happy ever after. Yes, she loves her husband too much to share. The more a woman loves her husband, the more difficult it is. Yeah. The more a woman loves her husband, the more difficult it is for her to share her husband. That's how life is. The more you love your husband, the more difficult it is for you to share. But always remember the hadith, you are not a true believer until you love for your Muslim sister what you love for yourself. You are not a true believer until you love for your Muslim sister what you love for yourself. And a lot of Kafir women are taking Shahada because only in Islam they can find real men. These women who are taking Shahada, they have sexual needs. If they don't find husbands, they'll go back to Jahiliyyah. Now, I learned a hadith from the lips of my sheikhs. If a woman should accept polygamy, I was told that the African women accept it most. Another thing with polygamy, if you have the mentality of the West, you were born and grew up in the West, and you have the mentality of the West, then you won't accept polygamy. But if you have an Islamic mentality, because in the West it's one man, one woman. In the West it is, you can have an affair, you can have a fling, but don't marry the woman. So the woman in the West, she doesn't mind an affair. A woman in the West will prefer you to have an affair than to do polygamy. Because the woman in the West, that is their mentality. It is a Dajjal mentality. That is a Dajjal mentality. I'd rather you have an affair because the affair is just a fling. But don't do polygamy. Yes. So the more westernized you are, the more difficult it is for you to accept polygamy. The more Islamic you are and the more Quranic you are, the easier it is for you to practice polygamy. I'm not finished with the rules of marriage because I need to tell you what to do on your wedding day in the honeymoon when you go behind closed doors with your wife. That was the last question. Once again, I would like to thank Authentic Tawheed 19 for the notes. Even when I recited the dua for the newlyweds, he was able to write it perfectly well. And I'd like to thank Authentic Tawheed 18 for the Quranic Hujjah, Maki Finger, Mujahida 101, and Authentic Tawheed 21 for the Hadith Hujjah. And I would like to thank Authentic Tawheed 16 for the question and answer session. Shukran Jazakallah, and I will continue the topic tomorrow, the rules of marriage. Some of you come late to the dars, I don't know why. Some of you are thinking about getting married, yet you come to the dars late. Subhanallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.